Okay, so here we have derivation 3003. So we'll start off, as we always do, with show conclusion. And now if we think what our strategy is supposed to be when we're trying to show a quantified sentence, we do assume ID, and then we do QN. Oh, but we need to make sure we apply it to the previous line. Now let's go ahead and bring in our premise. So we're working with lines 3 and 4. So now we have to remember what's our next thing to do. And the next thing to do is instantiate our quantifiers. And now let's try to remember what's the order in which we instantiate our quantifiers. Do we remember? Maybe we don't. Let's try instantiating 4 first. So we'll say 4, it's a universal quantifier. So we can instantiate, so on 3 we have an existential, and on 4 we have a universal. So one of those is going to be the right to instantiate first. So let's try UI to x, because why not? So, okay, we get if fx then not gx then hx. So, okay, now we want to instantiate 3, and we want to instantiate it to the same thing so that what we get will interact. Right, so here we have if fx then not gx then hx, and here we have a negated conditional. So let's apply NC to line 6. Okay, so now we have negated conditional turns into antecedent and negation of the conjunction. And look, we can split off the left conjunct of 7, and then we can do 5, 8 modus ponens. And then we can split off the right conjunct of 7, and we can apply De Morgan's to that. And we can split off the left conjunct of 11, and we can do 9, 12 modus ponens because we have not gx, and now the right conjunct of 11 gives us a contradiction. So this looks good. We check it, and oh no, we have a problem. What's the problem? On line 6, we get the message x is not a new variable. So this is an instance of EI, and when you do EI, you have to do EI to a variable that has not showed up in the derivation before. Well, at this point, x has shown up in the derivation, so you cannot do EI to x. So we have to do EI to something else. So let's do EI to I, because why not? And then we can apply NC. Oh, actually, so here's why. When I do EI, I like to start at the beginning of the variable so I can keep track of. Remember, EI is always to a new variable, and it helps to keep track of which variables you're using. So I'd recommend starting EI to I, and then EI to j, and then EI to k, and so on. So, okay. So now we have i's in line 6. So we have I in line 7. So we'll split off line 7. And now let's see if we can do modus ponens with 5 and 8. Oh, we can't, because 5 is fi, and on line 5 we have fx. If this was an fi, then we'd be okay. So let's see, why don't we change this back to an I? We can UI to whatever we want, so let's do it that way. And now we can do 5, 8 modus ponens. But if we check, we say, oh no, we have another problem, because, uh-oh, now we did UI to I there, and this means that I is not new anymore. So we could do EI to j, but then we're going to have fj, and this fj is not going to match the fi. So I hope at this point what we need to do is clear. We need to do the EI first and then the UI, and that's what we're going to do. So let's do that. We'll get rid of all these lines, and we'll get rid of this line, and let's just do that. So we're going to EI first, the quantifier on line 3, and then we're going to UI the quantifier on line 4 to I, and that's all okay. We're not done, but there's no problem with the instantiating because we did the EI first. When we did the EI at that point, I was new. We can then UI to whatever we want, and so we can UI to I. So this is why the order of the instantiation matters. You have to EI first and then UI. If you don't, you'll never get the variables to match. So now we're going to go ahead and complete the derivation in the way we did. So apply NC to line 5. We'll split off the left hand of line 7 and do 6, 8 modus ponens. We'll go ahead and split off the right hand side of line 7, and we'll apply De Morgan's to that. So we're going to split off the 10, the left side of line 10, and we'll do modus ponens, and then we'll split off the right-hand side of line 10, and we have a contradiction. So this epitomizes the basic strategy. Assume ID, QN, EI before UI, chapters 1 and 2 contradiction. Looks good to me. So I'll do some more derivations. I'll cut them up through a couple different videos.